So Kevin, I know from what you wrote in our confidential intake form that the general gist of it I get is that quite a few things are going well for you here. But on your team, you ran into some difficulty. You got into, I don't know whether to call it a fight or a fuss, but it was pretty significant, I guess, because your coach insisted that you come to counseling and meet with me at least once in order to be able to stay on the team.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem was. John got up in my face and told me to get out of my face, and he just stood there. So I acted like I was going to turn away, and I slugged him in the gut and got out of my face. I got what I wanted, and I didn't see any problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess you're thinking, I mean, it seemed like two things made it to you like there was no problem with this. One was that you got what you wanted, and the other was that I gather you're thinking you were justified. He was in your face, you told him, he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't listen to me. Never listened to me. He didn't respect my space, and I hadn't done anything wrong. He tried to tell me that I was out of position, which I wasn't. And, he's not one of our captains, so I don't have to listen to him.
So those are parts of the justified part too. He said you're out of position, you weren't. He's not one of the captains, you don't have to listen to him. So you see it's really quite completely justified there.
Yeah, I don't feel like I did anything wrong. I mean, I didn't hit him in the face, or I didn't keep on him, or he just was he's in my space and didn't respect me.
But so you're saying like, it's like you just kept on hitting him and you didn't hit him in the face, so to you those things seem reasonable.
Yeah.
One hit in the gut seems reasonable.
Yeah, I wasn't going to kill him accidentally or something like that, so
You're thinking you weren't risking hurting him.
Yeah, I mean,
terribly.
It's harder than that game, so you should be used to it.
Take that.
Yeah, I think so. So I mean, I would understand if I was in somebody's face and I wasn't getting out, if they decided to hit me in the gut or something like that. I can see how to be understandable.
Oh, okay.
I don't do that.
So well, yeah, so it's kind of hard to put yourself in his place because you wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, I don't get in people's faces.
But if you did, you'd be okay with it if they backed you off with a punch in the gut.
Yeah, I think that's their space.
Well, we have this time together. Half an hour or so a day. Can you tell me? Can you help me get to know you in other ways? I don't know that you want to use counseling, want to talk to me, but I mean, I just figure we have this time, I might as well try to know you, see if there is something that's helpful to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking. Okay. I don't know, I mean, it's my first year here. Best guys on the team. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you like being like first year and already one of the best ones.
Yeah. And coach, I like my coach.
Yeah.
He seemed to get along really well. He sees my value as a player. I like the classes here. They like what I'm taking.
quite well. You like the team, you like that you're doing well on the team. You like the coach, particularly because he values you on the team. You like your classes here, so a lot's going quite well for you.
Yeah, I mean, just, I feel like that sometimes people shouldn't, they should just listen and respect personal space. So, who's not here?
Right. So people like, I forgot his name already, but this guy with the team, but I mean, I gather you're saying that's kind of like a rule for people in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just not okay to like impose in somebody else's space, and if someone asks you to get out of their face, get out of their face. It's just, you don't intimidate other people. It's not okay.
It's like a rule you have that's wrong, and it can't be tolerated.
No, because it can escalate.
That's the why, because
Yeah.
if it's that, then it could be something else.
Yeah, I mean, what's the next thing? I mean, then does it become like, you know, do I get seen as someone back down, or are they, if the other guys on my team see me as weak and don't respect me as much because I didn't do anything about it, even though so-and-so's in my face, so.
Right. So that's part of why, is that it might affect how other people see you, and that might make it worse in some way.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's kind of, you can really, you can tell a lot from a person when they, like how they handle someone doing something they're not okay with. And if they're not willing to meet that challenge, then it's like it's like they don't matter sometimes. So it's really, I wasn't about to be somebody that the guys didn't respect, or a coach. You know, I mean, coach pissed at me now, but
So it kind of bugs you that you hit this guy because you couldn't be seen as backing down. That would be bad about how people saw you, but it seems to have affected how your coach sees you in a negative way that you did hit.
yeah, I mean, obviously he's not okay with it. That's why I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why it was such a big deal.
So when you said people, like people shouldn't do that, it made me wonder, like, is this guy on your team the only one that's done that to you, or pushed you that way, or has there been other people?
No, there's been other times. People got in my face. Usually they just back down. But with, you know, like, just really don't, never had to, I mean, I've gotten in a couple fights before, but not like, again, it wasn't like anything serious. Just fought. Just 1-1, that was okay. Parted ways. Like, each of us was kind of like okay with it. It wasn't a problem before. So, I mean, it's never happened on the team. Never had issues with people on the team, but just growing up, just kind of, it was okay. It wasn't like nothing wrong with it. I was going to get hurt.
So never on team, but you've been in a couple fights. Somebody won, somebody lost. And I mean, it kind of that struck me, but he also said it's not like anybody's gonna get hurt, but I was kinda thinking, I thought people do get hurt in fights.
Well, I mean, no one ever, we weren't trying to put each other in the hospital, so.
Just not permanent hurt.
Yeah, I mean, again, I mean, it's not trying to kill each other, it's all trying to kill the guy.
Right. And there's been times that people got in your face and you had to tell them, or you told them forcefully to back off, and they did.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the first time, at least anybody on the team that I've been on that hasn't done that. Usually, any other issues I've had with teammates, it's really okay.
They've just accepted it.
Yeah. It's had problems. It's just, I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why he.
And you're thinking if you had it, then you wouldn't be having this problem now. Different coach seeing you differently and having to talk to me. Well, it's usually, I got something I want to say, and I'm going to give you a couple thoughts, couple ideas, and I feel like I hesitated because I think it's risky what I'm going to say. I mean, it's make it sound like it's all that bad, but it's risky because I really don't know you well. But part of the reason I think I have to say it is because if I don't tell you, then I'm not going to get to know you well, because you wouldn't want to continue in that, so here it is. Two thoughts that I have so far for you. One is, there's a metaphor that's often kind of meaningful to me in life, like for different points of development in life, and sometimes I think of it as like I've never done any great mountain climbing, but I know a little bit about it, and like I think that how it works is the climbers like go to a certain level, and it's both elements of what's on the mountain, then like how much snow or how much ice, and how steep it is, what kind of terrain, altitude, all those things. So they need a certain skill set to a certain level. And then to go to the next level, they need another skill set. Sometimes some of those same skills that they had before, but they need to add some new skills in. And so that's one thought that I wanted to share with you, that you might be at a point in life where the skill sets you had, forcefully telling people, get out of my face, fighting but not fighting to the point of putting the other in the hospital. Like they may have worked well for you up to this point, but part of the message and what your coach is telling you is like, but those skill sets are not going to be enough to take you to the next level, take you through the next level.
Yeah. Yeah, so what you're saying is like, it's like getting better in sports, kind of? Like you can't, like you're only so good at certain levels and you gotta get better to get to another level, kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, I think that's probably another like metaphor or analogy for it. I just maybe don't know enough about sports to carry it out well. But sure, I mean, like there's, like from the little I know about basketball, there's like a level for kids where, shooting and going aggressively after the ball is enough. But then you get to an age level where that's just 5 guys playing one-on-one against each other. You know, so they got to learn to work as a unit in a zone or a unit on offense, and to pay attention to each other, to get in tune with each other in those pieces. I don't know enough about that to take it much further, but I do think you probably are right that there's like a skill set that would carry like to a certain age or ability level in sports, but then if you want to go next, it requires more.
So it's like there's something's gotta, I don't know, it's like, my other teams, like I never had to really worry about other people, never had to rely on them, you know, that's kind of how, never had to rely on a lot of people in general. So like I was able to just carry the team, I didn't have to worry about other people being able to do what they need to do. So I guess kind of, it sounds like what you're saying is like instead of it being the one-on-one stuff, then it would have to be like, like learning how to, something's got to be different.
Yeah, that is kind of what I'm thinking. I wasn't sure, and I didn't mean to be saying that it was going to apply to you with sports, because it's not my area of expertise, but it sounds like you're kind of seeing that, well, maybe it does. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I can see. I mean, I know. You know, first, I don't know, a few weeks of practices, like, it's been more difficult for me to, maybe to break through the defenses and, than it has been in other teams, but still know that I'm one of the best in the team. I feel like that people should see that and know that, and then kind of.
So you still have that. You're one of the best, and you still know that. But it actually kind of sounds like it does fit for you, that you're getting the idea that. Actually, maybe you can't just carry the team now.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of irritating, or not irritating. I get pissed off that I can't. I feel like I should be better than I am. Then, even though I am one of the best on the team, I still feel like I should be able to do it.
Yes, like you always have been able to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now it frustrates you that maybe not. Maybe you can't carry the team on your own now.
Yeah, I mean, it's always worked fine in the past.
I'd like to go ahead and give you an idea. Well, preface it first with, I may not know what the next skill set for you is. Like that might be something that if you help me know you, and I strive to share with you what I'm learning of you, so that you get to kind of hear it back. You may discover what the next skill set for you is. I may also be able to give you some ideas, but I just want to go ahead and say in advance, I may not know what the next skill set for you is. But even if I don't, you can use our work together in counseling for you to discover it. Like you already, I meant skill set in life, but also skill set in basketball. So I don't know what sport you play, but skill set in your game. I was thinking about basketball, but because the only sport I know a little bit about, you know. But So you were already kind of, it sounded like you already had some ideas of what might be there, what your next skill set is. But with that said, I wanted to give you one idea while we're here today, so that you could have something of a picture of the kind of thing we might work on if we continue together in counseling, if you choose to do that. And what I'm thinking is, very first impression. Usually this is the other thing where I was saying it's kind of risky for me to try to say it without knowing you better. But first impression is, it seems to me like you live by quite a few rules that are very hard and fast, very absolute. Like the first one, somebody should not get up in my face. If they do and I warn them and they don't move, they've broken the rule, they've gone too far. Another one that was kind of implied there, a lesser player, not one of our team captains, shouldn't correct me. Yeah, I'm not saying the rules are wrong. That'll be for you to decide. But then like a rule for you, it sounded like a rule for you is something like, I should be able to carry the team. And if I don't, well, I'm breaking the rule, and that's not okay, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so those are like that's like what you're talking about with the, it seems like what you're saying is like, I just, obviously, like, people are probably gonna get in my face again on the team, and I'm sure, you know, I don't want my coach to think badly of me.
Right.
You know,
So that has a consequence you don't want.
yeah. So it's like working to figure out like this next skill set, whatever. Like it's like ways that I can figure out how to get people out of my face without having to hit them, or figure out how to handle that to where I won't get in trouble. I'll be able to actually work on what I'm there for.
Yeah. So you're thinking that's one skill set that you might be interested in, is figuring out other ways to handle situations like that so that you don't get in trouble for it, and you get to work on what's really important to you to work on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get, I mean, really, I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want to get in fights, but I'm not going to tolerate that kind of attitude. I don't want to end up in jail. I've seen that happen.
Oh yeah, so that would be, I gather, even worse than your coach having a different view of it, and certainly that probably changes view of it.
Yeah.
So you don't want that. So you do want to find another way to deal with that. Well, this is the thing I'm going to suggest for another skill. I've got to watch the time too. And today we'll stop in about 5 minutes. But what I'm talking about is one of the skills. It's a hard thing to name, you know. And you'll kind of figure it out as we go along. But one of the skills I think is like one of the things you might do in counseling is evaluate, discover more of these rules that drive how you feel and drive what you do. So discover more of them. Like as you talk, and like if you came with your goal to help this guy know you, and while I'm getting to know you, if I kind of look for, oh, there's another one of those rules, there's another one of those rules, and so part of it I point them out to you, and then so then when you hear them, you can start to evaluate, and I can help you with it. Evaluate. I mean, you have to decide, but you can evaluate which of those rules apply, which of them don't. Like maybe you have some rules that you would decide, well, in these situations it does apply, but it's not a rule that always applies, or a rule that's always worth enforcing. So maybe that thinking through and evaluating your rules could be one of the next skill sets that you work on. It's certainly something that we could do in counseling.
So you'd help me kind of figure out how, what I'm thinking in these kinds of those times, and figure out how to think a different way, or so that I don't end up off the team or
in
jail or something.
Yeah, how to think a different way so you don't have these bad consequences that you don't want to have. I guess the most of the part of thinking a different way that I would explain a little bit is like, when we're kids, we think in pretty simple terms for the most part, because that's what we're able to do at that age. But as you get older, you're able to think in much more complex terms. But I don't know if a person would if they don't at some point stop and reevaluate the kind of the simple habits and thinking that had been there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like just something not working out. Kind of like what I did isn't really getting me what I want. It's like a kind of, so like I'm not, because I don't want to be, I don't want to be, I want to be seen as a leader on the team. I don't want to be seen as just a troublemaker.
Mm-hmm.
That's not who I am.
Right.
I just, too often I get blamed for stuff that I didn't do, wasn't my fault.
Also, the part I'm kind of excited about, I've got to watch the time, but the part I'm kind of excited about is where you went with it was, it sounded like to me, the way I would put it is you went from, like, your old way with rules was, someone's breaking the rule, this is wrong, I must enforce it, to, in some cases you may decide to enforce it, you may not, because maybe the result of enforcing it is worse than the result of not enforcing it.
Yeah, one, I think.
It's a much more complex way of thinking about it.
Yeah, but it's not what I want to get. And I don't, maybe it's getting me something that I don't want, but it's not good.
It doesn't get you where you want.
Yeah.
So, kind of like a new, more complex question to ask of rules is, if I enforce this, is it going to get me what I want? Or give me more of what I want or less of what I want?
Yeah, or maybe like, I guess it's kind of like, I don't, like I know that we not just like what we do, what happens after what we do, but like I just wanna, it's like I said, I'm tired of fighting. So I don't like feeling that way. I don't wanna understand ways to not feel that way. That's kind of,
So part of the new complexity for you too is you just don't like how it feels.
yeah,
You don't want to feel that way all the time anymore, or a lot of the time.
yeah, a lot of the time. Yeah.
Well, we've got to stop here today, but I guess what I'm thinking is you sound pretty intrigued with what I've suggested.
Yeah.
You're open to it. You give it a try.
Yeah, I mean, I think about it, you know.
Oh, cool.
I think it's something to see what it's about. Just think it. I guess I trust my coach, so I know he would send me here if he didn't need help. So
Yeah. So that's kind of a helpful recommendation there.
yeah, and I think I don't know. I think it'll be. And I felt a little better talking. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, I feel.
Well, let's go a little bit at a time, because I know you got a lot in your schedule and things will be changing and stuff with the season and obligations there and stuff. So let's, I'll walk out with you and our administrative assistant keeps the schedule, and so let's probably just schedule for 2, maybe 3 meetings once a week. And then by the end of that time, we'll either decide, hey, you've gotten what you wanted at the school, or we'll have an idea of like, well, how many more meetings might be reasonable.
Okay. Well, if it's something that is helpful, can I just keep coming? Or is it something that
Yeah, you're not
will
limited
get a
to 2 to 3.
certain? Okay.
I mean, it's, the main thing that'll limit how many times we could meet will be your schedule and mine.
Okay.
You know, other demands on our time. But so we'll just sort of play that a little bit as a time as it goes.
Okay. Sounds good.
Great, I'm glad you came in. We'll stop for today.